So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. Talking about necessary evils, gardeners, cooks, drivers, housekeepers, gatesmen, these domestic staff in general are the perfect example of necessary evils. Can't do with them, can't do without them. In Nigeria, these set of people are often characterized by a very deadly mindset, the sense of entitlement. You employ them on a mutually agreed wage, which you never fail to pay as and when due. In addition to the agreed wage, you inadvertently find yourself taking up other associated tasks, other associated expenses and favors. You buy them meals, feed them in your house, call cards, give them clothes for themselves, their wives and their children sometimes. You hand down household items to them, tips here and there. In addition to that, you tolerate their mistakes, inefficiencies, lateness, and never-ending excuses. But just like a bottomless pit that can never be filled, their expectation of what you owe them and what you should be doing for them can never be met. They wonder why you are so rich and they are not. They wonder and envy why God has chosen to bless you and not them. They loathe you for refusing to grant them financial favors whenever they ask. They cannot fathom what a paltry 500,000 naira or 1 million would take from you to give to them when they want to pay their rent or meet other financial responsibilities. After all, you drive big cars and you live in a big house. It is their conviction, they tell themselves, that if God has blessed you so much, it is your responsibility to bless them and take care of them. It is their inalienable rights. They smile with you on the outside, but deep down, they hate you, they envy you, they want your life. Today's tragic video is the story of Mr. and Mrs. Fatinoye, whose entire family was eliminated right in their home on New Year's Day. Their shocking mother has now been demystified, and the details which I would narrate to you is sure to send shivers running down your spine. Mr. Kehinde Fatinoye and his wife Bukola belonged to the average or maybe slightly above average class. You can call them middle class. They resided in a comfortable duplex in the Ibara government reserved area in Abeokuta, Ogun State of Nigeria. They both had good, secured federal government jobs. Mr. Kehinde was a staff at the Central Bank of Nigeria, the apex bank in Nigeria. And his wife, Bukola, she worked with the Federal University of Agriculture in Abeokuta. They had 2 children, 2 sons, and of course a number of domestic staff to assist them around the house. Their lives seemed to be going on just fine. Tragedy first struck the family of the Fatinoyes last year in 2022 when they lost their second son to the cold hands of death, leaving the family with only one surviving son, Oreoluwa. But ill fate was not done with them yet. On the contrary, it was only getting started. On New Year's Eve, the family had gone to church just as many other Nigerian families went to church to attend the crossover service, ushering them into a new year. Despite the loss they had suffered that year, the loss of their son, they were grateful to God for the gift of their lives and optimistic for a better 2023. Shortly after this couple had returned home, they were attacked by some hoodlums. These hoodlums attacked them, stole from them, murdered them, and set their whole house ablaze with them in it, leaving their remains burnt beyond recognition. After setting them and their house ablaze, these hoodlums kidnapped Oreoluwa, the 25-year-old only surviving son of this family. He was abducted along with their house help. When news of this catastrophe broke out, it sent the public into serious panic. Everyone urged the police to do its utmost in finding and rescuing Oreoluwa, as he might be the only key to cracking this crime that just happened. Unfortunately, that never happened, as 2 days after that incident, on the 3rd of January, his decomposing body, along with that of the house help who was abducted with him, was discovered by some fishermen floating on a river. The assailants had their hands bound backwards with a rope before pushing them into the river to drown. And that was the end of Kehinde Fatinoye's whole family. The entire family. Every single member wiped off the surface of the earth. And the next question on everybody's lips was why? Why? What is the motive? Who would want to exterminate an entire family? What could be their reason? Several theories and assumptions began filling the air. Could it be a deal gone wrong? Could it be cult related? Did he know of something that needed to stay secret? What was the motive? Well, you may not know, but the Nigerian police are not as lousy as you might imagine them to be. They work when they decide to work. So the police swung into action, and their investigations pointed to one person, Lekan Adekombi, the driver of the Fatinoyes, who had been in their employment since 2010. In fact, a lot of people already consider him family. He was arrested and taken into custody for questioning. While in police custody, Lekan, the driver, suddenly collapsed in the cell room and he was rushed to the hospital for treatment. This act, we would later discover, was feigned because as soon as Lekan got to the hospital, he was said to have snuck out of his ward, scaled the hospital fence and escaped, literally disappeared into thin air. You can imagine the public outcry when the news made it out that the prime suspect in this heinous crime had escaped under the watch of the police. There was nothing you could tell anybody. Everybody was convinced that the police had a hand in his escape. In fact, they accused the police of having orchestrated the whole escape in a bid to conceal something. They said the police was being funny. They smell rats. Could it be that this boy had begun to sing and call the names of people who sent him to assassinate this couple? And these big men had paid the police to help him escape? There were several theories making the rounds. But according to the police, they claimed that they had no hand in the escape of Lekan. And his escape was a confirmation of their suspicion of his involvement in the murder case. Hence, they intensified their manhunt for him. The Commissioner of Police ordered the state anti-kidnapping units to collaborate with the homicide units on this case to ensure that Lekan is apprehended and that this crime is unraveled. After much painstaking investigations, tracking and trailing, Lekan was eventually apprehended. He was discovered in his hideout right there in Abeokuta. He was interrogated and has now confessed to have masterminded the murder of his boss and his family. He gave his reasons. 1. He claimed that despite having worked for the Fatinoyes for many years, they didn't increase his salary. 2. He said that he had approached them for a loan to purchase a motorcycle for business and that they didn't oblige him. They refused his request. This, my dear brothers and sisters, is the reason why this daredevil wiped out an entire family, because they failed to meet his personal, financial needs and demands. What did the Bible say is the heart of man again? Lekan went further to give details, gut-wrenching details, of what transpired on that fateful day. How he liaised with 2 other accomplices, how they made Mr. Kehinde transfer huge sums of money via mobile app, 102,000 from Guaranteed Trust Bank and about 1 million naira from Union Bank into the account. And despite having robbed them, they went ahead to slaughter both of them and burnt down their house with their remains right in it. And they didn't stop there. They went ahead to kidnap his only son, the only surviving person of that household, and still eliminated him on top of it. Why? For what reason? Because his boss didn't succumb to his financial demands. Because his boss didn't solve his personal problem for him. The feeling of entitlement is indeed a killer. And from his countenance in that interview, when he was publicly paraded, it was so obvious that he didn't feel a shred of remorse.
We are paying me 25,000 naira, and the money is not enough for me to feed myself and my family. I'm not the one that killed them.
Okay.
It is Kofi that killed the man and the woman.
So where were you then?
Yes, thank you. When they did the money to me, I decided to tell Kofi that
How much?
they do 1.1 million 2,000 to me. They purposely do 102,000 in GTR app account. So now they open union account.
I'm quite certain that something in him would still be convincing him that his actions were justified. After all, if his boss had given him the money, the 1 million naira, or the motorcycle he requested for, he wouldn't have had to do what he had to do. The entitlement mentality is indeed a cancer. It may interest you that a good number of people are not buying this salary increment and money excuse. No, they believe that there is something deeply rooted in this case that we all do not know about. They suspect that Leko is trying to cover up an assassination game, that he was hired to assassinate the Fatinoyes, while others contend that it is 100% possible that this is the whole truth. They contend that you would never understand the levels these domestic staff would go when they are driven by envy, greed, scorn, and entitlement. There is nothing they cannot do. So what do you think, guys? Let me know right in the comment section. Do you think that there is more to this than meet the eyes? Do you think that this is just babash? Or do you believe that what Mr. Leko said about wiping out the entire family of the Fatinoyes just because they refused to increase his salary and grant him a loan? What are your thoughts? What are your suspicions? Share with us right down in the comment section. But whatever the case, whatever our suspicion, our speculation, Mr. Kehinde Fatinoye and his entire family are never coming back. They have been wiped out. Nothing would ever bring them back. This is indeed one very painful story, very needless murder. What happened to walking away if the terms of employment do not serve you? What happened to taking a walk and calling it quits? I really, really do hope that justice is served, and trust me to keep you updated as this case proceeds. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you're not subscribed to my channel, do hit the subscribe icon, turn on your bell notifications, give this video a big thumbs up, and drop your feelings in the comment section. Stay glued because there's so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl, Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.